Hey guys, welcome to this advanced class organized by University of Pattern Drafting. So this is the part 3 of the pattern drafting video, and in this video I will be drafting the pattern for the skirt part. So first off, notice my pattern paper is folded into two, and I'm just going to go ahead and measure 3 inches from the top of my pattern paper. Just measure 3 to 4 inches down, but I'm using 3 inches. You can use 4 inches if your torso is really long. So this is 3 inches, and I'm going to rule a line parallel to the top of my pattern paper. And the next thing, remember that my natural waist is where I stopped my corset, and natural waist is 16.5 inches. So I'm going to start drafting the pattern from 16.5 inches. Do you understand that? And then my navel is 18.5 inches. So I would also mark that point. From my navel to my hip line is 7 inches. So 7 inches plus 18.5 inches is 25.5 inches. That's what you just saw me mark. And then from the hip line to where the A line will start from is about 7 inches. Do you understand? So I'm going to start my A line at about 32.5 inches. So from that point, 7 inches down, so that's 32.5 inches. And then my full length is, I think, 58 inches. I'm going to be adding 2 inches to that, so I'm going to have about 60 inches. So that's what you can see me marking. And then the next thing now, I'm going to start to impute my arc measurement. So my waist arc, so I said my paper is on fold, so I'm just trying to show you that it's actually on fold. And so my waist measurement is, I think, 29 inches. And then my waist arc, which is your waist circumference divided by 4, is 7.5 inches. So that's what you can see me marking from the center front. And then I'll go to my hip line also and mark my hip arc, which is my hip circumference divided by 4. My hip is 36 divided by 4, that's 9 inches. And then for the lower part of my skirt, I usually subtract between 1 inch to 1.5 inch from my hip measurement. So in this case, I subtracted 1 inch, so that's 8 inches that you saw me marking. And I'm also going to go ahead and mark that same 8 inches at the hemline of the skirt part of my dress. And then I'm imputing my seam allowances, which is 1 inch. So this is what you can see me imputing here. So I'll impute all my measurements and then connect all of my points. So this is me connecting my hip line to my waistline. Notice I didn't impute any dots. So usually I just try as much as possible to avoid that, because I feel like they give you a very funny, it just makes it look weird in front. So unless the disparity between the hip and the waistline is a lot, I don't bother with that. So it's if you have like a hip of 46 inches and then a waistline of like 28 inches in here, then you really have no choice but to impute it that. But in my own case, I don't need to. So I'm just going to connect the point so you can see that. And then notice that my A line is going to start from that 7 inches below my hip line. Do you understand that? So I have marked that point, and then I'm going to go ahead and measure from that point to the end of my pattern paper, which is the full length of my dress. Can you see that? So I think I have about 25.5 inches. So now I am going to place my tape rule at I've placed my tape rule at the edge, and then I'm going to angle it to the end of my pattern paper. Can you see that, guys? And in angling it, the length I'm going to be using is, I'll be adding 1 inch to that 25.5 inch, which will now become 26.5 inches. I can decide to use 27 inches. So the length of this diagonal line now will be 27 inches, guys. Do you understand that? So you can see me marking that point, and then I'm just going to use a diagonal line to connect it. Can you see that? So in connecting it, you can also, just to confirm, measure the length of that diagonal line again, just to be sure that it's 27 inches. So can you see that? And then I've noticed that it's too sharp, so when I'll still make it a lot more curved. So don't make yours so sharp like this. Do you understand? Ensure that you try to make it curved and, you know, smooth and all that. So I'm remeasuring the line, and if you notice there's any excess, so I noticed there's about a 0.5 inches excess, so I marked that point, and I'm just going to reconnect it back to the hem of my dress. Do you understand? The hem of my pattern. So just reconnect that to the hem of your pattern, and basically our skirt pattern is done. Can you see, guys? But next thing that we have to do now is to work on that asymmetrical waistline. Do you understand? So that's what I'm going to work on. So first off, I'll just extend my waistline upwards. That's 3 inches. I'll extend it upwards, even though it's not included. I'll just extend it upwards so that I can manipulate my pattern to derive that the asymmetrical waistline. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut. So guys, don't make the mistake I made. Cut from the 3 inches. Don't cut from this waistline. Do you understand? I hope this is clear, guys. If you have any questions, please make sure that you drop the questions on the group so that when I answer the questions, other people can benefit from it. So I'm going ahead to cut. Oops, I made a mistake. You're actually supposed to cut from the 3 inches on top, guys. So I've extended the line, and then I'm going to cut, just cut along that line. But note that this 3 inches line that we started from is where my natural waistline actually is. Do you understand that, guys? So I'll cut it out, and then I shall see you in the part 4 of this video. Thank you, guys. Ciao.